Okay, it's 2:30 in the morning. Whatever, I don't have to work tomorrow.
I do, you lucky bastard.
The rest of the world has to work tomorrow, Brad. You, however, don't.
In 5 fucking hours.
Right, yeah.
Alright, so...
Fuck it.
You staying awake?
Yup. Till 4 p.m. That'll be rough.
Well, if you gotta go to work at 4 p.m., that's plenty of time to catch a nap.
Yeah, that's it. Thank God I work with caffeine. I will need it.
Alright, so we're out of Star Trek Into Darkness. I'm sure we'll have a decent amount to talk about here.
I think so, yeah.
It's just...
Jesus.
Not an hour or two. Can't you see we're busy?
Maybe.
Wrong sci-fi movie.
Alex, you really should have changed that ringtone for this movie.
Sorry.
We'll review the new Star Wars movie years from now. His phone will go off. He's dead, Jim. Damn it, Alex. Con!
Well...
Save that for later.
It's probably coming across right now that I didn't like the movie very much, but I did.
Yeah.
I think it's consensus. We all liked it.
Yeah. Parts.
It got weird.
It started falling apart for me around the last half hour.
Yeah. It got weird. Very weird. I guess.
It's a solid build-up. It's a pretty solid story, honestly. The performances are there. The writing's there. The characters certainly are.
Oh, the effects are fantastic.
The 3D I thought was good.
I did too.
You were telling me earlier that it was...
Yeah, I had read that it was done post. It was a post-conversion, so I think he shot it.
It was a good one, though.
It was good. It was good.
Like,
yeah, it was worth it.
Yeah. If you like seeing stuff like this in 3D, I thought the 3D was fine.
Yeah.
I don't even like 3D. I liked it.
It got a lot fucking better than Iron Man 3D.
Yeah.
Jesus. This one actually looked like it was in 3D.
Right.
But at this point, the actors, they've settled into their characters. They do a damn good job with it too. They really make you believe that they are these characters, especially
Simon Pegg. Fuck yeah.
Carl
Carl
Urban is gold in this and steals every line, every scene. I mean, he just is DeForest Kelly.
He is, yeah.
He's
Bones. It's awesome.
Yeah, he just is. He's got the best line in the movie when he says, I once gave a C-section to a Gorn. It was octuplets. Let me tell you, those little suckers can bite. First of all, I want to see that.
I know.
In race, what was the circumstance to where that happened?
Where was Dr. McCoy with a pregnant Gorn?
With a pregnant Gorn who I'm assuming had to give an emergency C-section to for some reason, like
deleted scene, maybe? Deleted scene? I would hope.
I know, there's a great story along with that somewhere that I would love to
see. There's a fantastic story behind that. And that was good. That was all well done. And I'm very much an original series guy. I know you guys watch the other ones too. Me, it's
I prefer original, hands down.
You also watched the spin-offs,
Next
the other
Gen,
ones.
that fuck them.
Yeah,
give shit past Next Gen.
I've watched all of them.
Yeah. But even you have too. But you didn't like them.
I lost interest very fast in DS9. Voyager, I liked the setup. I thought the show was a piece of shit.
What about you? Did you get into some of the other ones?
I've watched all of them. I like all. They each have different. Each one is kind of a different appeal.
Yeah.
Because Next Gen was kind of a reinvention of the original series. DS9 was getting to look into the politics of the future. And then Voyager attempted to be getting back into the science, but they kind of missed the mark on what could have been a really interesting idea. Is the ship lost on its own on the other side of the galaxy?
It was execution, I guess, I didn't like about the show.
Yeah, because they brought in the science and they had some interesting characters and they had some fun episodes. They brought more of the Borg stuff in there, so we got to explore more of the Borg and. They had some cool stuff in there, but
I do love the Borg.
It never really achieved what I think it could have achieved. And I think the biggest reason on Voyager is that the setup was good. because they're stuck on the other side of the galaxy, and they had to mix crews with, basically rebels.
Yeah.
Because like the Voyager was going to track down this group of these, like terrorists, basically, and then they had to merge the two crews. Well, the problem, in my opinion, is that they all got along too fast.
Yeah.
Like within the first season, they were all getting along fine, and it was just like any other Star Trek. It would have been, I think, it would have been more interesting to have them hate each other the whole time. You know what I mean? Because that would have been a much more interesting dynamic. I mean, they're desperately trying to claw their way back across the galaxy, and they've got a crew that hates each other.
That's not bad.
I mean, I think they started liking each other too fast. That's my personal opinion on Voyager. I still liked Voyager.
Voyager, I never saw. The rest of them, I saw a time or two, but I just strictly always just been just an original series guy, and this goes along with a lot of this movie goes along with a lot of the writing that I like best in many of my favorite episodes from the original series is that
like Spock's beard.
Spock's brain.
Spock's beard.
Yes. Spock's beard.
I was going to say Spock's
Sorry.
beard.
That's a prog rock band.
You stole Spock's beard.
I don't remember that.
This planet of women.
Sorry, it's 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah, he has a remote control goatee on his face.
Watch that.
Yeah, so it'll be great.
That would be a great episode. Yeah.
But so like this kind of goes along with some of the writing I like best on there is that you're kind of with the crew in the sense that you really don't know how in the fuck you're gonna get out of this goddamn situation. My favorite episodes of Star Trek are always the ones where I'm like, the setup of this is so damn good that I'm sitting here like halfway through the episode like, I seriously don't know how in the fuck they are gonna get out of this situation. And there's a lot of points in this movie where I'm like that too, and it really, really works like that. And it's also a pretty simple setup as well, and I like that. It's an attack happens to the Federation. They know who did it. They send them to go get the guy in Klingon territory to go get there and essentially destroy him. They get him. They have him on board the ship, and Peter Weller wants him dead, so
that's right.
They're
RoboCop
fighting against RoboCop wants him fucking dead, so they're fighting against him alongside the person they captured.
Right.
And here's where we should start getting into spoilers.
just a pinch. Yeah.
Spoilers.
Spoiler alert, he's Charlie X. I did not see that coming.
What a terrible idea.
Well, they couldn't get Clint Howard back to reprise
No, they couldn't. Yeah,
his role there.
I'm sure John Delancey was doing something. I know Next Gen, but still. It couldn't do Trelane.
There was a mud reference.
There was a mud reference, yes.
There's a Tribble in it.
There was a Tribble, there was a mud reference. Yep.
And okay, so he's... From here on out, it's pretty much going to be all spoilers. He's Khan.
Yep, Khan.
He's Khan.
That Khan.
Yeah.
Not all the other Khans.
Shere Khan from the Jungle Book.
There you go.
It's crazy. He's a fucking panther.
What a weird crossover. Who knew?
Strange option. No.
I know that there's going to be a lot of people who are pissed off that Khan is in this movie. I'm not.
I was apprehensive with when it came to the rumors because it being like a whole brand new setup, like whole new alternate reality, whatever. It seemed to me like it would be. Well, before seeing it, my thought would be it's too much of a, okay, our well's already tapped dry, so let's do something that we know will work with, okay, we'll just, alternate reality guy. It's the same thing. I mean, fuck, in Next Generation, very second episode, they basically remade an old classic episode. Almost the same thing. Still a good episode. Naked Time.
Right.
Copy of Naked Now.
Right.
Both fantastic, but still.
Yeah, I felt, from the moment they started talking about what this movie was, I figured it was Khan, and I saw that they changed his name, and I didn't know how exactly because they say he's John Harrison, and that's how he's listed on the IMDb credits and all the other things. He's playing John Harrison. I was like, well, he's probably still Khan. If he's not exactly Khan, he's still a
Khan-esque.
He's an augment, one of those genetically supermen, so maybe he knows Khan, or he's one of Khan's soldiers, and then he leads you to Khan.
Yeah.
But I was like, it's going to be Khan. And I kind of agree in that It's the same reason the Klingons were always the bad guys in the other movies. It's
They
because
make great villains.
Well, they make great villains, and they thought that people would be too stupid to not realize that there could be other villains in Star Trek.
Right.
You know, I mean, they kept adding. You know, my understanding is that in like Star Trek 3, they wanted it to be Romulans.
Yeah.
But they realized that, you know, they thought people would be too confused because they're more pointy-eared people, and they thought, well, isn't that what Spock is?
Yeah.
So they brought in
That's racist.
They brought in Christopher Lloyd and had him be a Klingon
Klingon
again.
bastard, you killed my son.
Yeah, again, you know, because they thought, well, people are going to be too stupid to know the difference between, you know, Romulans and Klingons, so let's just keep it Klingons.
Thus forgetting Star Trek's audiences. Usually a bunch of intellectuals.
You're right.
Except for the one guy who thought he was playing Doc Brown. What a dumbass.
There's actually no, it's more, or he's the guy from Taxi. There's actually
Nice.
There's actually an outtake where Christopher Lloyd does a take.
Yeah.
And then he sits back in his chair as a Klingon and goes, "Well, beats driving a taxi."
Never saw that.
Never seen that before?
No,
Yeah, other
No,
Star
that's
Trek
pretty
fans will
cool.
know that exists out there somewhere. I don't know where, but I'm sure there'll be a link to it somewhere. But yeah, he does that in one of the outtakes.
YouTube here.
My
Right,
thing
yeah,
is-
yeah. But anyway, you know, my point is that they brought back Khan because they knew everybody would go, "Oh, Wrath of Khan, of course, it's another Khan."
Wrath of Khan?
Yeah, you know, you heard of that movie?
I hear good things.
I've heard something about Wrath of Khan.
So I mean, I agree that I'm okay with Khan being the villain again.
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with that. You know, during the setup, I mean, I obviously knew who it was as soon as he was like, "Hey."
As soon as he started talking and they
Right.
were covering up his name,
Right.
and that he's obviously using a fake name, I'm like,
obviously,
okay,
the
he's
super soldier kind
Khan.
of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like what you said, if he's not Khan, then he's pretty much Khan.
He knows Khan. He's going to say,
yeah.
"Here's my boss. His name is Khan."
Yeah. So I don't have a problem with that. I don't. Because, like,
either.
okay, here we have other actors playing other established characters
Sure,
here. So,
sure, yeah.
so why not Khan?
He didn't play the same way as Ricardo Montalban.
No, and that's
no,
another
it's
thing too.
true.
Is
Yeah.
that's another thing too? Is that his performance is fucking solid.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's-
God.
he's
It's
awesome.
pretty chilling.
I like it
It
a
really
lot.
is. It's a
Creepy.
chilling performance. It's a booming fucking voice. It's snarlingly evil.
Yeah.
Like he nails it. He's really fucking good in this,
Yeah.
and that works. And it also works too. The fact that they do some different things with his character in that for part of the movie, he's not really the main villain.
No.
Peter
Right.
Weller is, and so they're kind of working together to get Peter Weller, but then that kind of goes into this other plan that Khan has going on. So for me, it was working. The story was there. The performances were definitely there.
Oh, yeah.
Regardless if he's Khan or not, he's a good villain, and it's a great fucking
Sure,
performance.
yeah.
So that makes me cool. That does make me cool with it. Where it started losing me,
Is this when he hijacks a ship? What? Khan hijacking a ship?
it didn't start losing me there.
No.
It was when it just started just flat out remaking scenes from the Wrath of Khan.
Well, like I'm saying, Khan hijacks the ship.
Okay,
True,
so
true,
so he
yeah.
hijacks the
That's
ship.
where it starts.
Yeah, he hijacks the ship. Okay, but when they
Big fight with the Enterprise.
well, of course he's going to
Destroys the
fight the
Enterprise.
Enterprise.
Well,
Of
yeah,
course,
it's
of
a-
course. I'm talking very specifically.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking
they're
about.
remaking Spock's death from the first one, except the roles are reversed.
Right,
And
right.
right after Spock says he doesn't believe in miracles, let me tell you something. That's a fucking miracle that fucking thing is happening in this parallel universe exactly the same way,
You're right.
but with the roles fucking reversed. Like, they redo the death scene from Wrath of Khan, only it's Captain Kirk who's dying, and there's the glass shield, and Spock is on the other side
Almost the same conversation between the two of them.
Yeah.
Only
It
like he
was-
says, "Ship out of danger." You know, like
Yes.
I mean, like they quote lines.
of it. Uh-huh.
You know what? It should have been a giveaway that might happen like earlier in the movie when, you know, Spock dropped the good of the many outweigh the good of the few line.
Right. That yeah. And the
I
very
got
first
that.
I thought he was just quoting Transformers 2. I thought that was really out of place.
No, you're right. Yeah, like in the opening
Yeah.
sequence, he does say
He
that
says
he's in
that.
the Neo and that he's in a few. And yeah,
It should have been a giveaway right there, I think, but
well,
well.
but then the biggest like I didn't want them to do it.
They
I
did.
really didn't
Yeah,
want them to
they
do
did it.
I didn't want him to
But they
either.
did it.
I knew it was
They
coming.
did it.
Once it got to that
They,
point.
they telegraphed it in.
Oh.
They said, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. You ready? Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. Spock goes,
Gone!
Was that really necessary?
No.
No.
No, it was not fucking... It wasn't at all fucking necessary. It was right there with fucking Malfoy saying, "You damn dirty apes," in Rise of the Planet of the Apes. It was unnecessary. It took you out of the fucking movie.
Oh, absolutely.
That whole scene just took me, because when Kirk is dying and he's talking to Spock, you know what? It's well acted.
It is well done.
With the two actors, it's well acted. But the drama's not there because it's distracting.
Because you're like, oh my god, I can't believe they're doing this.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, they're doing this. They're doing. Oh my god, they're actually doing this. Okay, wow.
And it takes away from
The emotional context.
emotional context of the scene.
Because given that the whole, it's the exact same kind of idea. If Kirk doesn't go into the warp core and do what he has to do, the whole ship, everybody dies. It's the exact same thing.
Yep.
It's this huge buildup, much more dramatically, because of course they have much better special effects than they did back in 1, 2. So the ship's spiraling down towards Earth. It's gonna, break up in orbit, and if he doesn't, so he does it. It's the same context, but you're right. Any emotional credit you get out of that is lost because you're like, so wow, they're redoing this scene.
Yeah.
And
I've seen this many times.
Unless you've never seen Star Trek before, which if you've never seen Star Trek before and you've been watching these movies, bravo for trying something out of your comfort zone. But otherwise, I'm assuming you've seen at least one or two, and it's possible the only one you've seen is Wrath of Khan, because that's all. I mean,
it's like the best one.
It's like the best one. It's also just a great friggin' movie.
Yeah, it's a great film.
So you know what that scene is, and you're like, wow, they're redoing that scene. And you're right. It's almost a discredit to Chris Pine and Zachary Quinto, who give great performances.
Yeah. Exactly,
really
because their performances on that scene, it is solid. They are giving pretty good performances there. Like,
it's just that
Spock
scene.
As the tear rolled down, and Kirk is scared that he's dying and everything. They're good. They're really good in the scene, but any emotional investment of that scene is not there because you're just thinking about, you're sitting there like,
Wrath of
okay,
Khan?
so this is a remake of Wrath of Khan now.
Yeah.
And when he screamed Khan.
Right. It's just
really. I did too.
Like, really? Oh god.
I did.
Well, the other part is
That's my catchphrase. Damn it.
Well, we all love Wrath of Khan, but that meme of Kirk screaming Khan has become a joke.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, it's a great performance by Shatner back in the day.
Yeah.
But it's been used so much in satire that we think of it more. I mean, I do. I think of it as a joke.
Because anytime it pops up in something, it's used to comedic effect.
Exactly.
I mean, obviously not in Wrath of Khan.
No, in Wrath of Khan, it's a brilliant moment.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a brilliant moment, very well acted by William Shatner, very emotional and impactful. But of course, that's the original when it was done.
Yeah,
it's awesome in Wrath of Khan. But so much of popular culture has replayed that same scene as a funny thing for comedic effect.
That when people
now. It's like they were making the same joke.
Yeah, it seemed. Yeah, exactly. People are going to watch that, and either they're going to be like us, which is kind of cringing,
right?
Or they're going to laugh.
Yeah.
Either one of those two things are not the kind of emotion you should be feeling when you're watching a scene like that.
No. Especially with everything that led up to it.
Yeah.
It is a payoff. I mean, the character arc, is. For both of those characters, I mean, it leads up to that being an important part of their character arcs. But it's the same damn scene.
Yeah.
I mean, because Kirk's character arc through the whole movie was him not being up to the challenge of being captain and not being willing, to, do what needs to be done for his crew and sacrifice. Would you give it all for your family, for your crew? And the other is can Spock get past his Vulcan side and embrace his human emotions and embrace what it is to be friendship and have and doing things for his friends. And then it builds up to that, and it should be a very powerful moment. Yeah. But because it's the exact same scene, it's just a
and it didn't have to be the exact same scene. It didn't.
It could have had some things, the dialogue. I mean,
it still could have been a death scene, but did it have to be between the glass and when they actually touched it?
Right.
I mean,
yeah, exactly. And I know, even if it was another death scene and with Khan in it, I do realize that it would still be hard not to think about Wrath of Khan, but you know what? Maybe there would be a chance you wouldn't if it wasn't these.
So blatantly fucking
Yeah.
obvious.
Right,
And
It was just
Not even a hidden homage either.
no, it was
No.
squarely on the nose.
yeah.
And I mean, yeah, and again,
Subtlety? What's subtlety?
right.
It's about as subtle as the ship destroying half of London at the end of it.
Incidentally,
It was San Francisco, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit, sorry.
Incidentally, what was
Sorry.
it? I linked you. It was like after
Unbelievable.
after the fucking ship crashed into fucking San Francisco, wiping out half of it. During that chase scene with Spock and Khan, this guy's just wandering, like just casually walking the streets.
True, yeah, the rest of
driving.
it, hey, you know what? San Francisco has to keep moving. You know what I mean? You got to keep moving.
It's a busy day.
Yes,
Dude, it was a weekday.
It was a weekday. Everybody's going to work. Yes, the ship crashed into half of San Francisco and wiped out Alcatraz and most of the bay. But you know what? Damn it, I got to go to work. I do
I'm
it.
really fucking late for work.
I have to be very
Even though
calm.
my building is still there.
I mean, very calm walking.
I didn't so much have a problem with it.
I didn't either. I just thought it was funny. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
that's right.
It's one of those things you typically notice with most extras in
Oh yeah,
True, yeah.
it just amused me.
but what I had more of a problem with was the freaking like fucking leapfrog shit Spock is doing from like floating ship to ship during that whole scene. Like, really? Is this a fucking Attack of the Clones all of a fucking sudden?
Yeah. That is a good point. Yeah, that is very very Star Warsy.
So that was kind of hard to get emotionally invested in that, but one because
We just endured that.
yeah. So
Wrath of Khan Part 2. It didn't make me as mad as Iron Man, though.
I mean, yeah, I liked the film. I liked
As a
because
whole,
it's
as a
Star
whole,
Trek.
yeah.
I love Star Trek.
Yeah,
me too.
I love because they got to do some things that like they didn't do very much in the series or in the other movies. Just because I mean it's extremely expensive and hard to do, so the technology wasn't there. But the idea of like the opening thing of the ship coming out of water, honestly,
that was cool.
One of my favorite characters in Star Trek is the ship. You know, I mean, the ship is as much a character as anybody else. So I love the ship. I love the technology of it.
Fucking iconic,
so,
too.
Seeing the ship rise out of water, and then and when as it's spinning into orbit, out of orbit, like they've never really done anything like that before.
Right.
So to show that and to show kind of the physics of it and all, I really liked that.
Me too.
I thought that was really pretty awesome.
I did too. That was a really good action set piece too, when the ship is just kind of floating there, just dead, just like kind of just hit fucking dead air and shit, and like it's moving on its side and all that, and they're running through the halls, and they have to jump over hallways.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
there
yeah.
was
That
some
was
good
awesome.
camera
I liked
tricks
that a
there
lot.
too.
And that was again that's something that they didn't really explore either, or they couldn't explore in previous incarnations. Is it's like there's no gravity on the ship, so it's just in free fall.
Yeah.
So they did that kind of thing where like the halls must have been like on a gimbal or something. So they
Yeah.
were like turning, and you see the actors running on the walls and then on the floor, and then on the wall. Yeah, it's
That was fun. That was really well done. I did like that. And as a whole, I liked it.
Yeah.
As a whole, I liked it. But it's a big build up to. It's probably going to disappoint a lot of people, and it's honestly probably going to piss off a lot of people.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, really, yeah. I mean,
It didn't make me as mad as Iron Man, though. That was the Mandarin. I'm just saying.
I was more, but I know more about Star Trek than I do the Iron Man comic. So of course I'm gonna be more. Have more of an emotion to something like that as opposed to what happens halfway through the Iron Man 3.
Yeah. I mean, I really, really like Star Trek. I've seen
love
everything on it, and like
Stand forever.
I love Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
And
One of my
I mean,
all-time favorites.
and,
Ever.
and like what you said earlier, it's like, I mean, or maybe I don't know, somebody said it. It's kind of a cool remake of Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, the movie ended. We were both sat there when it was over, and we were like, "Well, that was an interesting remake of Wrath of Khan."
Yeah.
And like I was. Man, this throws you for a curveball in the last act of the movie.
Right, yeah.
Because, like I said, for the most of it, I was like, wow, I'm really loving this shit. And then, just doing some things I'm kind of questioning here.
And they kept doing them.
Well, I mean, really, I think we should talk about like what was you're right, because it's really the last act where it falls apart. It gets really clumsy and very ham-fisted.
I could
references, but like you get to the point of like how they build up why Khan's there.
Yeah,
and like
that was a solid mystery.
And like they kind of alluding to that this is an alternate universe. The Botany Bay or his ship was found, but it wasn't found by the Enterprise. It was found by Peter Weller's character, and instead of what happened with the Enterprise, in the original series, in this
Space Seed,
love it. The Admiral, whatever his face is, Peter Weller, Admiral RoboCop.
Admiral RoboCop.
Admiral
be his
RoboCop.
Name forever.
Admiral RoboCop. He decides to take and use Khan as a weapon. He unfreezes Khan, but only Khan, and then uses his knowledge to help build this big badass starship.
Yeah.
Which is the main heavy starship in the movie. So like. That was pretty interesting.
And it made sense. It worked.
It worked. Right. It worked. It worked. Yeah. That's how. How do you shoehorn Khan back into this new universe without remaking Space Seed?
Yeah.
Well, that's how you do it. I think that was a pretty clever way to do it.
Same here, because to me, they made it make sense that Khan is in this movie.
Right.
And it did. And to me, that would have been the most important thing. Is like, I'm fine with Khan being in it. I am, because if the rest of these characters could be in it, Khan could be in it too. So I'm fine with that. But like we said earlier, as long as they make it work. To me, in this, they did. The fact that he's there, and also the performance too, because dear God, he does give a scary performance.
Yes.
He is awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. That guy is absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
I could have done also without the Spock Uhura romance thing.
Well,
like
it felt like they had to reference it because they made such a big deal about it in the first one.
In the first one,
so they had to bring it back.
They bring it back, and it's like, I feel bad saying they don't have chemistry, because it would be hard to have romantic chemistry with Spock.
Right. True, yeah.
But it's just
sort of the point, I think.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's kind of weird saying that, but like, but it just
work for me.
Because it just seems like it's there just to make jokes, like, oh, look at Spock, he doesn't know how to he doesn't know how to talk to a woman, or he doesn't know how to read a woman, the mysteries of the universe.
Right.
So it just seemed like it was just kind of there, but they actually kind of drop it after like the first half hour of the movie, and you get to see Kirk in bed with two cat women.
That's right. Yes.
You got some tail for sure.
Oh yeah.
So we got to literally see. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was funny.
Thank you.
I liked that was. In he banged a green chick in the first movie, so. With cat people in this one.
And with Carol Marcus, who knows? Maybe baby David's coming soon.
Who looked fantastic in a bra and panties, by the way.
I couldn't.
True.
But no, overall, yeah, I'd recommend seeing the movie. I would, and if you're a lot more pissed off about some of the things in it than we are, I totally understand.
Yeah. I agree. I totally understand. I mean, I'm annoyed by them because I'm like, you've got some really clever people writing this. But honestly, I almost wonder if that was the studio coming back at them saying, no, you got to add these references in there because people will see it, and you got to again, because most studios think people are too stupid to understand things that they haven't seen before. We see it all the time. Them thinking, let's just show them the exact same thing they've seen before because we already knew they like it.
Yeah.
So I almost wonder if that might have played a factor in that. But I'm gonna live with it. I'm gonna like this movie, and
I can live with it. Yeah, I can live with it. I can sit there and groan and be. When I did in the theater, but there is enough good things about this movie. There's enough entertaining things about it. There's enough suspense as well, and some really fun moments too, because it also still has the humor of the show as well.
Oh yeah.
So that
Simon Pegg as Scotty.
Yeah,
awesome.
Simon Pegg as
really
Scotty.
Funny, really great character.
Carl Urban. My God, I can't say enough praise about Carl Urban.
Honestly, there was not enough of him. There's
never enough Carl Urban.
True, yeah.
Even in Dredd, where he's in like 99% of the movie, you can never have enough Carl Urban.
He's
you
awesome.
just can't.
That guy's awesome.
And so like I said, I mean, believe me, there's things about the movie. like we've said, there's plenty of things about the movie that annoy me. It doesn't make me not recommend the movie. It doesn't. And if you come away from this movie mad and pissed off and screaming and ranting and whatnot, I get it.
I understand. I feel you. I just, it's not.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's not enough to be like, no, how dare they? It's like, really, guys?
Right.
It's more like, and instead of like, nerd rage of, I can't believe you did that to start. No, it's like, really? You couldn't come up with anything better?
It's anything. Like I said, even in that side, like I know we're kind of overlapping ourselves here, but even anything in that scene would have worked. It didn't have to be that.
Right.
Yeah.
So we've come to the point where we're just remaking parts of our own review.
My God, we're just like J.J. Abrams in Star Trek now.
Hey, less lens flares.
Oh, there's still a lot of lens flares.
Yeah, but not as direct in your face.
No, just on the sides.
There were little bitty ones. There were little bitty ones that were coming in. There were like certain little things that would like land, but none of the big, huge lens flares that you had in the first one.
There was still a shit ton.
There was a lot. I didn't have a problem with that.
I didn't either.
Well, no, but but remember the first one? It was like because they had spotlights, and they would just occasionally just point the spotlight at the lens.
Yeah,
right.
Obviously, they toned that way the hell down.
Yeah.
Oh man, especially after seeing, I didn't really have a problem with it in the first one either. But in this one, I did. I mean, yeah, I would kind of notice it here and there when it happened, but it didn't really take me out of the movie or anything. Probably because last year I fucking saw that Total Recall remake, that piece of shit where oh boy, dear God, did they want to make that look like a J.J. Abrams movie, because every fucking scene was like lens flares all over the goddamn place. Like,
awesome.
I mean, that movie still had a lot of fucking problems, but it wasn't just the lens flares, but man, that was really fucking annoying. I don't really have anything else.
I don't either.
What
Bruce
about you
Greenwood
guys?
was awesome.
Oh yeah, that was a good scene. When he died, that was good.
Oh yeah,
that was really good because you could fucking see the fear in that guy's fucking face, and he doesn't say anything. He's just shocked,
awesome.
like in fucking shock, and yeah.
I have to say that I saw when I knew he was coming back, I knew he was going to die. You know what I mean? It's like
at some point, something bad's gonna happen to Pike.
Yeah, nothing good can happen to Pike, especially when they made him really fatherly and really, it's like I was like, oh, you were dead.
Oh, Bruce Greenwood, no!
Oh, Bruce Greenwood.
No, he was in charge of the Enterprise.
When Bruce Greenwood,
something was going to happen.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
When Bruce Greenwood's not playing a villain, he dies very early on.
I know. There's something bad's gonna happen to him.
And then if he does die early on, that means he's not really dead and he's the villain, like in Double Jeopardy.
Oh, sure, yeah.
But yeah, he was dead. I also this is very, very minor, but I wanted to see more of Scotty's little alien buddy.
Oh, right, yeah. He was there, but he didn't get. I mean, he just does where Scotty's like drunk and he's trying to talk about it. And he just stares at him.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, that was really minor. It's a very minor part about the movie, but I kind of like that. It's like Scotty's got this little alien buddy, like who's kind of like his lackey or something,
yeah.
and they're like kind of drinking and like doing shots together and shit like that. Like I kind of dug that. I did. And a good, sometimes a good movie can leave you wanting like, some more things in a positive way. This was like that with those two characters' relationship. Like that was kind of funny, and also
I want a Scotty movie. Two of them.
I want to see Bones deliver octuplets from a Gorn.
From a Gorn, yeah.
Cross your fingers for special features.
There we go.
The Easter egg.
Yeah.
I guess this will be my final thing about it too, because I don't think I really have much. I don't think I really have much else. Like I was really, when it was doing the stuff at the end, I was really worried it was just gonna end, and the next movie would be
Search for Kirk.
Like that
was my first thought.
Not that I think that they would have actually titled it that,
but yeah, I was like,
Into the Light,
because it's like you can't kill Kirk.
Well, they said you couldn't kill Spock.
Not without Malcolm McDowell.
Oh yeah.
I have an appointment with eternity.
Exactly. So you can't kill Kirk without Malcolm
my.
McDowell. So I was like, how are they going to get out of this? Yeah, it's the exact same thing. It's like, how are they going to get, because okay, so they've killed Kirk. Okay, so how are they going to bring him back? And I mean, they do, but, which I think is...
But that was less, oh my god, how are they going to get out of this? And more...
Are they really going to end with him dead? Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
No, but more... How are they going to get out of this?
Yeah. It's like, it's easy.
But yeah, it's going to end up with them dead, and the next one's going to be... And then the fourth one will be they got to find whales. Like, they're just remaking the whole series. I can't wait until 5.
What does God need with a spaceship?
Maybe they'll finally have the rock monsters in it this time. The technology's there nowadays.
You use CGI.
That's right.
Well, it worked in Galaxy Quest.
That's right. Galaxy Quest had a rock monster.
Love Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest is
Great
awesome.
Let's talk more about Galaxy Quest.
Let's review Galaxy Quest right now.
The only Tim Allen movie I enjoy.
Oh, come on. Not a Jungle the Jungle fan?
Sorry. I must have missed that one.
It was a terrible remake of Little Indian Big City. God, the movie sucked. Both of those fucking movies sucked.
That's right. They did make a second one, didn't they?
Well, next week, man, I was talking earlier about how, like, my entire week, the rest of my week is going to be thrown off because I'm so used to going to these on Thursday and this one's Wednesday. Next week, I got 2. Hangover 3 is on Wednesday, and Fast and the Furious 6 is on Thursday. We came out to the Dead Theater here again, and it was awesome. Like, just like, the same with Iron Man 3.
Was there maybe 10 people in the fucking theater?
There was not 10 people in there.
No, yeah, you're right. I mean, there was like...
There was a few people came in, like, after us.
Were they sitting behind us?
Yeah.
There was, like, we were sitting, like, in the middle, and there
like-
were only, like, 3 people in front of us.
And a few people came in behind us, so
Okay, okay.
I don't know.
Maybe a total of up to 10 people, perhaps.
When we got here, there were 2 cars. The employees' cars were in the parking
Right,
lot.
that's
There's
right.
only 2 of them.
Yeah.
But I'm totally down with whenever there's like a big release like this coming to this theater because it was
Fuck yeah.
like it would have been a swarm over at the other fucking theater, and like there's no way I'm gonna risk having to fucking sit in the fucking front row for a 3D movie. Jesus Christ! I'm like, all right, we'll go to the questionable theater here in town. It's the tickets are cheaper, the theaters are bigger, the auditoriums
sticky.
are bigger,
I'm not
the
asking
floor
for it.
is stickier. That was partly my fault, though. I kind of spilled my popcorn earlier.
True story.
Well, you guys gotta head to work in like 30 minutes. So.
Yeah, right, yeah. So,
I got about 4 hours now. 3 hours? I don't know.
Fine.
Okay.
You'll be fine.
I'll catch a nap on my drive home.
Yeah, yeah. Just have to cross your fingers when you wake up. The car found its way into your work parking lot.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I work in the emergency room, so I think I'll get there.
That's just smart thinking. When you break it down. If you're going to fall asleep on the road,
Exactly.
make sure you work in a hospital.
Can't fault that logic.
You get fired. See you guys later.